There we go. So first of all, we've focused a little bit of time on lip syncing, but there are really three other key elements that we feel in interview fraud. One are fake resumes, right? Which, certainly resumes can be embellished, or really faked, right? Now, we don't really do much of that within our interview analysis other than reviewing the resume of the candidate and maybe asking some questions. The second, and probably the largest element of fraud that we see, are consulting external resources. And this particularly, I think, acute, in technology or programming, right? When there's a programming section or they're asked to do some kind of answer a tech question with some coding. And oftentimes a candidate will then consult an external source, whether it's the library on GitHub or a Stack Overflow or something like that. And what happens is, as Miriam said, and others, they kind of wander their eyes, look up. But within our system, we do track that when they move from the video to another tab, we identify that, right? And that's typically where they're consulting external resources. I guess alternatively, if they're looking down at their phone or a book like this, you can kind of see that, right, in the video as well.
Right. So the smart way to commit fraud here is to have a second screen. Not to say to recommend, but just to get into the psychology of doing it. Second screen, ideally off camera. So you want to have your camera dominating that. So here's another technique. You want to have the camera as close to your face as possible, right? So you dominate.
Right. So you can't see anything else.
Exactly. And then so you're not like right at the back and then your head's swiveling this way. So yeah, some top tips here. Okay. Just to help us spot the frame.
Oh, sure. And then the third piece, which we spent a fair amount of time talking about already, is lip syncing. And that's an element that we have utilized or implemented some AI to really focus on and identify, which I'll share a little more detail on in a minute. And then lastly, it may be the most egregious, are these proxy participants where, I know, Hung is a programming expert, right? And he's my friend. He takes the interview for me and he does a fabulous job. And then I show up, he gets the job and I show up, day one and hey, you're not that great guy that we interviewed. And with remote hires,
yeah, I was about to